You're listening to Book Chat with author Vivian E. Moore.
Welcome everybody to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge while learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Hello and welcome to Book Chat. I am your host, author Vivian E. Moore. Hope everyone had a great week and hope you had a great weekend or are having a great weekend because it's not over yet. You still got one more day. And so we're going to get right to today's show. The title of today's show is The Fundamentals of Creation, and the topic is author goals. When we think of creation, it's an overall picture of how the greatest creator of all times formed the planet and everything in it. Well, today's viewpoint is still along those lines of that process, but on a smaller scale. The fundamentals of creation, when telling or writing stories, start with an idea that blooms into a detailed plot with an authentic and engaging storyline. Like any structure, you must start with a solid foundation, then add layers as you add content. Every story should consist of meaningful events, a story arc that bridges a continuing narrative or storyline. Creation consists of a defined relationship between the story elements that build to the climax and the end. If I were to draw a flow chart, just to give you a visual description of the process, it would go as follows: setting, characters, plot, events, climax, in that order. Or to simplify, a beginning, a middle, and an end. These are the basics or fundamentals of creation. It's pretty much like how we exist as human beings. How we live our lives. We have a beginning, we have a middle, and we have an ending. And, there are a lot of things that happen, and that is what makes story creation, a simple task. Well, I'll say that for most authors, because along those lines, along that mindset, that's how we write, that's how we construct stories. Because we know that with anything, you have to have a beginning. And then, flowing in that order, you have things that take place in the middle. And then finally, you get to the end. And that is just how it goes. And if you want more information or to learn more about the finer points of story creation, then you can visit https://www.authorlearningcenter.com, and they will give you everything you ever wanted to know about writing and creating stories. You can find it there at that website. So there you go. That's that's a push in the right direction to help those beginners that are out there that are not quite sure about how to start. They have all of these ideas in their mind, but they don't know how to put them on paper, how to put them in story order. So if you can get someone to help you with that, just to give you a few examples of how it's done, then that will set you on your way. So if you go there, you will learn what you need to know, or you will learn some of what you need to know, because writing is a process. It is something that you learn to do better over time. And the objective is to be an adventurist, okay? You don't start as professionals, okay? It's all about becoming what you desired. That is the goal, honing your craft until it is sharp and flawless. Maybe you're unsure, as I said before, about your abilities, but have a little faith in yourself. When you do that, others will see who you claim you are, a writer. It's just that simple. Be confident in your abilities. Endeavor to do your best and leave second guessing yourself on the cutting room floor. Because when you doubt yourself, others will doubt you also. So, you don't have to play yourself up to be this person that knows everything, because you don't, and if you listen to some of the best authors that are out there now, and they would tell you that it was a process for them. It was a learning process for them as well. Just because they wrote a book and they're well known now, they are at the top of their game now. It didn't start out that way. I'm pretty certain that that they got rejections, and I'll use Stephen King as a prime example. And there are other ones too that started out, with rejections and things weren't going the way they planned, but over time they honed their skills. They perfected what was not perfect, in the publisher's eye, and then once they mastered all of that, now they can teach master classes on that, because they know all that there is to know about writing, because they are now at the top of their game. They have come a long way. They have paved the way for other authors. They have paid their dues to teach those master classes, and and that's a great thing. If you really want some deep insight on writing, then you might want to subscribe to one of those master classes and learn from the masters, on how to do it the best way. All I do is offer tips and try to point you in the right direction, because by no way, by any means necessary, am I a master of anything, at all. But I'm learning too, and as I learn, I share. So, that's how it should be, to help others grow along the way as well. And, because there is room for error, but perfection is where you need to aim. Okay, that should always be the goal, to make your mistakes along the way, because trust me, you learn from those mistakes. At least you should learn from those mistakes. And if you don't have someone to point them out for you, then you'll never know where your strengths lie. I always say that constructive criticism is a good thing, because it helps you to see where your weaknesses are, so that way you can work on them and build them up, make them stronger, make them better. That is what we're trying to do as writers. We want to create stories. We want to engage our readers, and hold them, from the beginning to the ending. And the best way to do that is by trial and error. You practice until you get it right. All right. So last but not least, relax, okay? And allow your creative juices to flow naturally, and have fun along the way. All right. So that is today's show. And before I let you go, I want to make sure that I give you these URLs, because that is a huge part of Book Chat, to be able to share this information with you and to direct you, to the right places to get it. So, of course, the first one is to Spreaker, and that is at https://www.spreaker.com/user/author Vivian Moore. You can follow me over all social media, which includes Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can also check out my weekly blog, that is at https://viviannemore.blogspot.com. You can also check out my website, that is at authorviviannemore.com or arthurhshepherd.com. You can listen to the live version that is happening right now as we speak on Spreaker. You can listen to the recorded episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, YouTube, SoundCloud, JioSaven, Audible.com, Verbal, Luminary, and Apple Music. So those are all the places where you can listen to Book Chat anytime you please, all right? So coming up this week, Thursday, is Thanksgiving Day, and I'm sure that we all have so much to be thankful for. For one thing, to be able to see another Thanksgiving, and hopefully this Thanksgiving will be a bit different from last year's, when they were advising everyone not to come together as units because of the pandemic. So people have gotten their shots, and because they wanted to be able to have these family gatherings, and because it's so important. How often do you see your family. I mean, you see your children and your grandchildren, if you have them, you see them probably more often than anyone else. But then if you have sisters and brothers and just all your family members, you don't get to see them as often as you do your immediate family. So it's important to have these gatherings to be able to come together and to partake of the holiday spirit. So we have Thanksgiving coming up, and so that's one of the things that I'm thankful for, to be able to congregate with my family, to have these family gatherings, that you have only once a year, and so I'm definitely looking forward to that and preparing the meal and things of that nature, because for me, all of that is part of it, and it's so much fun, and I enjoy it a whole lot. Also, we have what else is coming up? Oh, tomorrow is Sunday. It's the third Sunday, so I hope you're ready for that too. And please be careful if you haven't gotten your vaccines yet, or if you're in the process of maybe you've gotten one and not two yet. So just be careful and wash your hands, wear your mask, social distance, do all the things that's necessary to stay healthy, because you do want to come together on Thursday with your family so you can enjoy Thanksgiving without anyone else getting sick. All right, and also be mindful to tell those around you how much you care about them, because tomorrow is not promised. Today may be the only chance you get to say that. So I love you. I hope you love me back. Until the next time you hear my voice, God bless you and goodbye.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you can head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.